You are listening to the Exitology Unlock Your Profits, Unlock Your Potential show on the number one global business talk and news network on the internet, IBGR, International Business Growth Radio. The world of business at your fingertips. Hi, I am Jason Wally Waldron, the secret weapon behind business owners, founders, and CEOs of blue-collar and industrial companies who apply Exitology to grow faster and maximize the value of their business. When these owners feel trapped in their businesses, we apply Exitology so you can buy back your time and freedom. I'm your host for today's show. This season, we will be discussing proven strategies to accelerate business growth. After all, business growth is the foundation of a successful exit. Forget the endless treadmill of hustle and grind, hoping one day you'll retire. There's no need to throw the best years of your life away enslaved to your business. What if you could triple the value of your business and discover your path to freedom by making a few small changes over the next 6 months? With Exitology, you can. You can position your company for a lucrative sale, hand down your company as a legacy to your family or through an ESOP, create a passive income stream with the business you already own, regain your time and freedom. My hope for each of you listening is that you will discover how to take your business to new heights and set up yourself for the exit that you desire. Are you ready? It's time to unlock your profits and unlock your potential. Today we're exploring how to unlock your profits and unlock your potential. You're going to want to listen to these next 4 episodes because the statistics for a business owner who wants to succeed in exiting his or her business are pretty dire. However, there are many steps you can take to increase your chances of success. The dire state of today's business owner. Before we talk about this a little bit, I want to share a quote from the Greek Stoic philosopher from a couple thousand years ago, and it is this: "Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within your control, and some things are not." That's Epictetus speaking to us from beyond the grave. And as we think about the situation that today's business owner is in, I want you to think about happiness and freedom and, what is in control and what's not. What's reality? Well, imagine that you walked into a room full of 40 people. And 2 years later, you looked at those same 40 people and only one of them was happy. That's 39 unhappy people 2 years later. And that is the situation with today's business owner. Statistics show that out of 10 people who want to exit their business, only 2 people will. And after 2 years, out of those 2 who actually exited their business, 75% will experience profound regret. Now, why is this? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some of these core reasons in a few minutes. But before we dive into that, I want you to think about who owns businesses. Who are these people who are seeking to exit? Who are these people in that room of 40 people that we just walked into where only one person is happy? Well, a good chunk of them are baby boomers. The average baby boomer is 67 years old, with an age range of 58 to 76 years old. And depending on when you're listening to that, you might want to add a couple years. And at the time of this discussion, 51% of companies are owned by baby boomers. The rest of the businesses are owned, 43% are owned by Generation X, 34 to 54-year-olds. And 6% are owned by people under 34 years of age. Now, it's interesting when you start to think about these things and really contextualize who these folks are who own businesses. And I would be very shocked if you did not fall into one of these 3 categories. It's interesting as you think about these folks, though, they have different core values. So if I'm speaking with a baby boomer core value is success. The baby boomer business owner gave us the gift of the 60-hour work week, and to get that success, they believe as a core value that you pay your dues. You show up, you get there early, you stay late, you do what's asked, and you are rewarded. Now I'm going to contrast that a little bit with the 43% of Generation X. very different core values. The Generation X business owner values work-life balance, and the Generation X business owner talks about working smarter, not harder. And so there's actually almost as many Generation X business owners who are seeking to exit at the same time as the baby boomers. And that's for various reasons, but it's very interesting to see that that's happening right now. And then we have our friends who own 6% of the businesses, the millennial cohort. And of course, they are growing in business ownership numbers like you wouldn't believe, because they are the next large amount of human beings who are coming up in the business world. Now, the millennial core values is very different than either the boomers or the Generation X. The millennials are ambitious and also completely unfocused. They're always asking what's next. And it makes sense if you think about it, because the millennials are more educated and more connected to everything else that everybody has ever done and is doing at this very moment than any generation prior to them. And they're also better educated, so they're very, very ambitious. And so when we're thinking about the situation of business owners seeking to work on their business and eventually achieve an exit, we want to think with a lens of who are we speaking to and who are we working with, and also what are those core values, because the exit will represent, the successful exit, I should say, will represent a reflection of those core values. Now, let's think for a minute. What are some of the reasons why owners consider exiting their business? Well, there's a lot of different things that can move that issue forward, but reasons why an owner consider an exit include age, the business marketplace, are people buying? The pandemic, of course, disrupted and changed timelines drastically for many people. Economic outlook. The last couple of years has been a lot of money floating around doing acquisitions, so that might speed up your exit trajectory. Conversely, if you go into a harsher environment, that might slow down your exit trajectory. And very, very common is health. Health issues can really move things forward. And so when we're looking at these types of things, there's a lot of factors that can factor into why a business owner would look at wanting to exit. And as we're thinking through that, let's go back to that initial core statistic for a second. Statistics, back to Epictetus, right? Happiness and freedom come from the understanding of some things are in control, some are not. And so the first statistic that we just have to deal with reality is that 80% of businesses simply will never sell. And these stats are gathered by the Exit Planning Institute. And for every 10 business owners who want to sell that business, only 2 of them will ever be able to. And as we just spoke about, the average business owner has 80% of their net worth tied up in their business. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this here in a few minutes on our next episode. But 80% of your net worth, of your life's work, is tied up in your business. So if all of your value is hanging out there in your business, and your chances of exiting and being happy about it is less than 1 in 10, this means that it becomes imperative to become clear about what a successful business looks like. How do you build a company that has what we call transferable value? Because ultimately we have to unlock that 80% of your life's worth, your net worth that is stuck in that business, if you were to have a chance to extract that value and move on to the next phase of your life. So 8 out of 10 business owners are going to find themselves losing 80% of their net worth upon retirement. So planning and understanding is the first step in creating the type of exit you want from your business, and it begins with starting with the end in mind. So I want you to be thinking about that when you consider your own business. Now, you might be thinking right now, I'm doing well. Why should I think of exiting my business? Well, every year on January 1st, the clock resets itself. And when it does, so does the risk of your worst case scenarios showing up. And those worst case scenarios look like these things. And every 5 years you have an 80% of experiencing one of these. So death, disability, divorce, disagreement, or distress. And I would actually add another one even, which would be disruption. What if your business gets disrupted out of the marketplace? And, it's unpleasant to think about these 5 Ds. These 5 Ds cause the owner to be forced out of their business on someone else's time frame. So all of that net worth that's tied up in your business that could have been extracted in various forms, could have been extracted over the next 5 years through proper planning. It could have been built up and transferred to someone else, creating a liquidity event for you. The 5 Ds, if you get hit with one of these, it'll cause economic hardship for your business, and it causes value destruction. So the fix for this is simple, of course, and that's why I invite you to begin with the end in mind. And one of the things that we counsel our clients to do is to begin with the end in mind and think about having a growing to exit strategy. And so what you need to know when you're looking at these issues and these threats to your business is look at the reality and where you are, and most importantly, know that you're not alone. All business owners will exit someday, and most of them keep it a secret, but really you don't have to. And from there, start by simply getting informed. Keep listening to the Exitology Show. We'll go on a journey together here to show you how to unlock your access to more freedom, more profits, and a larger exit without doing any additional work. And so we are now going to take a short 2-minute break. When we return, we will discuss something that I think is very, very compelling, and that is the Rule of 72. And it's not what you think. So if you have questions about today's topic, visit exitology.com and click Contact Us. Send us your question. We'll answer it on an upcoming episode. See you in a little bit.